Some of my best memories as a solo female traveler happen when I join group trips. But let's start by clarifying one thing. Being a solo traveler doesn't have to mean that you're alone. In fact, I find that the opposite is true. When you travel solo, you're more likely to chat, interact, and learn from others. My personal definition of the solo female traveler is a woman who makes her own decisions about when, how, and why she travels. She isn't alone, but rather she belongs to a community of other women that are cheering her on. And whether you are just getting started traveling or you've traveled enough to know exactly what you like, joining a group tour as a solo female traveler can be a great idea. To be honest, I never thought I was a group tour kind of traveler. I then had the opportunity to visit Morocco with a company called Intrepid, and they showed me that group tours are so much more rewarding than I could have ever imagined. I've since also traveled with them on trips to Peru, Sri Lanka, and Jordan, so my opinions on group travel presented in this video are more likely largely influenced by my positive experience traveling with them. So first, I want to talk about the benefits of joining a group tour. Number one is you get the support from the company. When you travel on a group tour, you're led by a local guide that can provide you with advice, recommendations, safety tips, and can assist you with any language translation should you need it. Having a local guide gives you real access and insight into a culture and is a wonderful resource when you're visiting a destination. The most significant benefit of joining a group tour is having a planned itinerary that's designed by professionals. And aside from having all of the logistics taken care of, travelers on a group tour can have the support of the company even before they arrive in the destination. Customer service teams can give you guidance or point you in the right direction when you're applying for visas, preparing for activities, and can even help you when you're wondering what to pack for your trip. The next benefit is you get support from your fellow travelers. On a group tour, you can make friends and socialize as much as you want, and you'll be traveling with other like-minded individuals who will respect your independence. Depending on the tour company you choose, you can choose to have the option to join a trip that's specific for solo travelers only or only for women. And as long as you keep an open mind and go with the flow, you'll see that other travelers are also there for the same reasons as you are, to explore, to enjoy, to discover, and to make memories. The third benefit, there's a great balance between free time and scheduled itineraries. Now, what I loved about traveling with Intrepid is that their itineraries are structured to allow free time, and a traveler can decide exactly how she wants to spend it, whether it's exploring on her own with a new friend, catching up with friends or family back home, or relaxing in the peace and quiet of her room. This structure is perfect if you're still toying with the idea of solo travel, as you will have a few hours to yourself to test it out. You can also join a group tour at the beginning or end of a solo trip, and that way you get the best of both worlds. And last but not least, you get more for your money. Group tours are usually offered in package deals and may or may not include airfare, but the travel costs for groups are generally offered at better rates. The tour company gets to pass on the savings to you, and not only do you get better rates on major expenses when traveling in an organized group, but you also get to do more things like guided walking tours or in-home cultural experiences that you wouldn't necessarily do if you were alone. And next, I want to mention a few things to consider when choosing a tour company, because there are a lot of them out there and some are much better than others. First thing to consider, how big or small are the groups? When you're researching a tour company, find out the average size of their groups and choose a size that you are comfortable with. I personally prefer smaller groups, maybe 10 or less travelers, so things can move along without many delays. Groups of 20 or more are too big for my personal preference, and any bigger, you start to feel like herded cattle. When I traveled with Intrepid, groups were generally capped between 10 to 16 travelers. And second consideration, what are the company's values? You have the freedom to choose a tour company whose values align with yours. If traveling ethically and responsibly is important to you, choose a company that makes their values known. If you find a company that doesn't really make an effort to share their values, or you can't seem to find any information when you're doing your research, there's a chance that the ethics and responsibility are not major concerns for them. And another consideration, which is very important, how long has the company been established? Traveling with a company that's been established for years means that there's less risk when booking a reservation. I suggest choosing a company that offers guaranteed departures so you don't get stuck if there's a last minute cancellation. Established companies have a worldwide presence, a good reputation, and in-country contacts, which makes them better suited for handling any emergencies or natural disasters or unexpected hiccups during your travels. And my last tip is to read past travelers' testimonials so that you have a better idea of what to expect. For established companies, you should be able to find testimonials on the company itself, as well as for the specific trip that you're interested in. The company should communicate what to expect in regard to accommodations, activity level, amount of walking that would be required, the length of the car rides, etc., etc. But reading honest reviews from past travelers can show you another side of what to expect. So, all of that said, if you're not able to take all of these considerations in mind, or the group trip that you're thinking about doing isn't able to answer these questions, then I would really suggest finding another option with a group trip company that's more reputable, like Intrepid, for example. For me, being able to join group trips as a solo female traveler has honestly been life-changing. Thanks to these trips, I was able to visit destinations that I might not have otherwise if my only other option was to go solo. So that's it. If you are thinking about joining a group trip as a solo traveler and have any questions about my experience, feel free to leave a comment and have fun out there.